Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about economics and crypto and lots of other fun things. In this video, I want to talk about crypto, obviously, and my goodness. Okay, I am making this video on Monday afternoon, publishing it on Tuesday morning. And by the time you're watching this, if you told me that Bitcoin was $95,000, or if you told me that it filled the CME futures gap at $77,300 or something like that, I would not be shocked by anything. What an insane ride this has been. And I think there's going to be a lot more fun things to come. And so, you know, before we dive on in, though, let's talk about that, the really important stuff, at least for me. Smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section, all for the algorithm. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive on in. So biggest thing first thing first. Okay, so I had been talking about $80,000 for months. I've been talking about 5.3 theory, and I've been talking about just general fears that I have economically that I think is going to end up cutting this bull run short, and that we're not peaking at the end of 2025. But, you know, I did talk about, because Trump got elected, and it's been really exciting financially, at least since Trump got elected, that I expected to extend my window. I did say 2 to 4 months after the first rate cut. Now with Trump having won, it would be more like 4 months. That brings us to January 18th. And I tend to think that that's a little too soon, that's like on the early end of when things are going to peak. You know, peak of alt season, peak of Bitcoin, whatever. So we've cut through $80,000 like butter. It was nothing. Even if this were to end up being a wick, I would say that 3.3 theory has been fully invalidated. Seeing Bitcoin at this point, at least when I'm making this video, around $87,000, with a lot more room to go with the spot Bitcoin ETFs buying an insane amount of Bitcoin. I had heard within 30 minutes of the stock market open that the spot Bitcoin ETFs had bought $1 billion of Bitcoin. This is insane, which means that the sky is the limit, even short term. And so, all right, $80,000. Thank God that has been invalidated. Where do we go from here? You know, it's something to really think about. And I did make a video yesterday, or at least it's published, you know, from the moment that this video was made. That video was published yesterday. Subscribers are seeing it today, or excuse me, members of this channel are seeing it today. But I talked about, here's generally what happens when we form a bullish pennant. Now, could you describe the 6-month chop, that 6-month torturous chop that we have finally broken out of, as a bullish pennant? You technically could. Okay, so in terms of technicalities, I would expect from the top of the breakout of that pennant a move similar to the flagpole of the pennant, which is about $35,000. That would put us at about $105,000. I tend to think that worst case scenario, Bitcoin will get up to $105,000. Maybe we'll run out of steam at $100,000. I could see $100,000 being just this massive level of resistance. I could see Bitcoin getting up to $100,000 and getting rejected there so hard that it goes under $90,000. Anything's possible. Or maybe we just cut through this like butter. We cut through 80,000 like butter, a level that a lot of people were looking to exit. You never know. Who knows? It's this wonderful world of crypto. I mean, mostly torturous world of crypto, but here we are in the wonderful, the handful, really, of wonderful days. Anything's possible. But I have also shared some thoughts in terms of the effect of the spot Bitcoin ETFs on Bitcoin's price. If you remember from November of 2023, for those of you who have been following me for that long, you might remember that I made a video talking about Bitcoin and talking about the effects of the spot Bitcoin ETF. Okay, so Bitcoin, when I made that video, was around $30,000. If I said November of 2023, it would have actually been earlier, because Bitcoin was around $30,000. Maybe it was October of 2023. And I did lots of calculations, and I think these calculations ended up actually being pretty on point. But I did a lot of calculations and a lot of estimates, and I came to the conclusion that a $53,000 Bitcoin was the equivalent of a $30,000 Bitcoin at that time. In other words, if the spot Bitcoin ETFs had launched and they had already accumulated, that they would accumulate somewhere around 400,000 Bitcoin, take that off the table forever, or for not forever, but for quite a while, and then reach some kind of equilibrium where that Bitcoin would be removed. A lot of it would be removed from the system. And that if those Bitcoin ETFs had been launched already in October of 2023, that Bitcoin's price, instead of being $30,000, would have been $53,000. So, okay, let's fast forward that to today. What does that mean? That means, let's say 5.3 theory is technically true, but we had this wrench of the spot Bitcoin ETFs thrown into the system. All right, 53 minus 30, could you do it like that? Could you do 53 minus 30? That gives us $23,000. That maybe Bitcoin, instead of peaking at $80,000, should peak at $103,000. Maybe that's how we play this. But to me, it would make sense that it would be more in terms of percentages. And so percentage-wise, I don't remember this. I've already calculated this before, but percentage-wise, that would put us, instead of an $80,000 Bitcoin, that same percentage gap between 30 and 53,000 would put us at about $141,000 for Bitcoin. Maybe that's in play. I just published, before making this video on YouTube, a video on my TikTok and my X account talking about what happens after Bitcoin crosses and holds its previous all-time high. Let me read some numbers. Just for example, in 2020, Bitcoin crossed and held its previous all-time high of a little under $20,000, and then Bitcoin's price doubled to $40,000 within 24 days. In 2017, same deal, $1,300, Bitcoin crosses and holds, doubles to $2,600 in 26 days. In 2013, same deal, fourth quarter of 2013, it took 13 days for Bitcoin's price to double. In 2013, the first part of 2013, when Bitcoin crossed its previous all-time high, it took 17 days. So does that mean that Bitcoin's price is going to double within the next, at most, 26 days, or maybe it'll be a little longer this time, since we're talking about trillions of dollars instead of billions or millions? Does that mean that Bitcoin's price is going to double within 40 days? Let's just throw out 40 days. I would think that's very unlikely. Sorry if you got a little too excited. Would Bitcoin's price go to $145,000 essentially by the end of the year? Earlier than by Christmas? It would be a very Merry Christmas if that happened. I don't think so. But what I do think, especially given that altcoins are so much lower now in comparison to Bitcoin, especially considering that Bitcoin's dominance is rising, it would make sense to me that the best strategy right now is, if you see a cryptocurrency that you like, that you should just buy it. All right? So should you buy now or wait for the dip? 99% of the time, you're going to find a better opportunity to buy that crypto. This is the 1%. This is the 1% of times when it might actually be in your best interests to not wait for a dip. And I say that in great trepidation that, am I going to get struck by lightning right now? Because you should never, except for the 1% of the time, have that kind of a mindset. And so, listen, we want Bitcoin to climb. Okay, I don't care if you want to say that I was wrong about $80,000, the thing that I've been consistent about. Those of you who know about my live streams, you've been watching my live streams, you know what I've been saying. I want to follow the market. I want to let the market lead me, and I will follow. And that's all that I can promise you, is I'm going to follow the market. And then when it comes time that it looks like there's weakness in the market, you better believe I'm going to turn on a dime. Diamond hands are not, that is not in my vocabulary right now. Actually, a little bit right now. A little bit. It doesn't make sense to sell any altcoins right now. It just doesn't. Bitcoin miners, yes, but altcoins, diamond hands. But listen, my diamonds will turn into lettuce very quickly on a dime, okay? My diamond hands will turn into lettuce hands. So right now, Now is a good time. Even if you haven't been buying, which I've been begging you to buy, now is still a good time. But anyway, that is all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week. I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace.